Okay, we're here today at the Jewish Link Pitch Meeting Podcast. I have a very, very special guest, someone I've known for over a decade. His name is Yosef Gillers, and he is the founder of GrowTorah. Yosef, welcome to the Jewish Link. Welcome to the podcast. And I just have to start with my first image of you. Okay,
this should be a good one.
It's in the halls of MTA.
Okay,
and it's probably 12, 13 years ago. Okay, or maybe even 14 years ago. And I'm working at Yeshiva University. I'm a fundraiser, and you're at MTA.
And I'm not a student, by the way.
You are not a student.
I'm just prefacing it because I'm sure it's going to sound like I was.
No.
Based on whatever the first impression
You
is.
were the young, cool student activities guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you. Yes.
And I remember you telling me about this idea and about the idea of GrowTorah, and it's in terms of what you're doing. And I thought to myself, well, that's probably not going to work. Okay. And I want you to know that I have been. I left Yeshiva. I started Jewish Link, and I have just been watching and kvelling and just watching you kind of grow Torah into something really, really special. So
thank you.
So a big yasher koach to you.
Thank you so much.
And I feel bad now that even, I happen to be, it's funny because I'm usually not a cynic. I'm always ready to be wrong. And so I'm usually always, for some reason, I looked at, I thought there were other organizations like Adama and Chazon, which I don't know if everyone here knows what those are, but I know you do.
Yeah.
But have that work in the Jewish environmental space.
Exactly.
And I just didn't think it would really catch on, and I have been so wrong, and I want to start off with an apology.
Accepted. Totally accepted.
And just take us back to like 2011, 2012, 2013,
Sure.
when you really, or 2014, 2015, when you got started. And the truth is, unfortunately, I'm also thinking you don't look like a hippie. You don't look like you necessarily should be farming. You kind of shatter the mold. And I'll just shut up. I just want to hear a little bit about Yosef Gillers and GrowTorah.
Thank you, and it's fun that you go back to that. That's a great place to start one version of the story. I'll go back 1 year to 2010. I graduated college. I did my undergrad out in St. Louis at WashU in environmental studies, and I had been an advisor for NCSY. Big appreciation.
Oh, you grew up. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Boston.
Okay, got it. Mm-hmm.
So 2010, I finished my undergrad in environmental studies with a concentration in education. And I loved what I was doing with NCSY and B'nai Akiva. And in the summers, I was working at this amazing wilderness camp, Yagilu. It was then called Ya'alozu, Rabbi Tani Prero.
I didn't know that. So you came out of that world. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
He's still a board member. We were chatting yesterday of GrowTorah. He's the last of the founding board that's still on. And I knew I wanted to bring those things together. I wanted to bring nature and the environment and Torah all together. And I said, okay, I should probably go get smicha because I want to strengthen my Torah foundation. I was learning morning and night seder in college, but I really wanted to go deeper. So I moved to New York. Thank you, Rabbi Gottlieb. He got me a job at MTA. He had been my high school principal in Maimonides in Boston, and he was the principal of MTA at the time.
Small world. So that
all connected.
Rabbi Mark Gottlieb. Okay, got it.
Yeah, Rabbi Mark Gottlieb. Mm-hmm. And so that's really where it started. The dream was always something with nature and Torah and the environment, bringing all that together. At the time, actually, I believe I have a Google Doc that dates back to 2009. For the farm yeshiva. The dream was to build a farm yeshiva.
A farming yeshiva.
A farm yeshiva. Hands-on, experiential, be immersed in the Adama, in the ground, and in Torah at the same time. And those two really enhance each other, which, fast forward, thank God, yes, that's what we do at GrowTorah, but a slightly different model.
We haven't seen you're not there. That initial goal is not. We don't have a farm yeshiva yet.
Exactly, we don't have a farm yeshiva yet. It's still a pipe dream in some ways, but things I've learned in the past is really all about product market fit. There's definitely kids who could benefit greatly from it, but I don't think there's a critical mass of people and funders who could live out on a farm and run a farm yeshiva. Maybe I'm wrong, and anyone listening, if you let me know if you want to make that dream come true, if you think so. But what I realized, so I went to MTA to go work. I did a bunch of different, I had 5 different jobs at the time at MTA. Sorry, by the end of my time. But I was in Smicha, I was working at MTA, and it was really fantastic. And in 2014, Shuey Jacoby, who was longtime MTA everything.
Wow. But you're bringing in some really big names from like the MTA past, my
Exactly.
past. Shuey is doing good stuff still, but he never. But the joke is he could never leave MTA.
He can never leave MTA. So I just want to give Hakar Satov to Shuey. Shuey, if you're listening, thank you.
I'm going to make sure he listens.
Yeah. And he introduced me to his friend, Ari Klein, who was then the director of Moshe Be'ir, New Jersey, the Rosh Moshe of Moshe Be'ir, New Jersey. And I had been working with summer camp gardens at the time at this organization that no longer exists, unfortunately, called the Amir Project. And they were working less in the Orthodox space and more across the whole pluralistic denominations. It was really special. And I realized, there's tremendous opportunity here in gardens at institutions. There, it was gardens at schools. It was gardens at camp, sorry. And so Shuey introduced me to Ari. Ari said, bring a garden to Moshe Be'ir, let's try it out. And hey, let's go to Rabbi Senior and see if Frisch wants to pilot this thing. Lucky for me, MTA doesn't have school on Fridays. So we got the garden going at Moshe Be'ir in the summer of 2014. It was not called GrowTorah. It was an Amir garden. I was still working full-time at MTA.
But then, by the way, the reason why there is no garden at MTA is because there is not literally a single patch of green.
Exactly.
Anywhere. And
Shuey still had plans and was attempting to fundraising for a rooftop garden at MTA.
Good luck.
Yeah. We have since, fast forward again, we've kind of paused our high school programming. But it all started actually at high school. I was working in high school and then I brought it to Frisch. Moshe Be'ir in the summer is on the campus of Frisch, as probably most of the listeners know. So that's really where it started. And from there...
Wait. So then when did it become GrowTorah?
That was the idea. Oh, right, I forgot. Yeah, that's when the pilot and the concept, that was when the seed was planted.
And were you looking at also just at the same time, were you looking at what else was out there outside the Orthodox world? Because there definitely are organizations out there. And I'll just share with you, you may not know this, but I was the first fundraiser for American Friends of Leket Israel. So like I actually have a lot of questions to ask you about food waste and all that stuff, but I want to know just what kind of research, what'd you look around, what'd you see when you looked around?
Amazing. Also, I'm Yosef Gillers. The founder of Leket is Joseph Gittler. We did overlap at Moshe Be'ir. He was staff. I was like a Gan kid a long time ago. And we've spoken. So
you're saying that your names are similar?
Names are similar, and we do, related work, which is fun.
Actually, that's fun. I never really put that. Interesting. Okay, cool.
Which is just a fun little thing. Yes, but I didn't get to that yet in 2014. In 2014, Ari said, bring the garden to Moshe Be'ir, let's try it out. And I said, great, I'm going to keep my full-time job at MTA, keep teaching, keep working.
And keeping this farm yeshiva
dream in there, thinking about where do I want to take this garden concept. And then that first summer at Moshe Be'ir, it was really great. And thank God a lot of the staff at Moshe Be'ir worked in a lot of the local schools. They're like, maybe you should do this in our schools. Kept the job, stayed at MTA for another year. But in the course of that year, enough of my friends who were teaching at school said, do you want to bring this to our school? And I said, I would love to. And that's when I kind of shifted from, okay, the farm yeshiva may happen down the road. For now, let's see if we can bring gardens to schools, because there's so much Torah we can teach from a garden, and it's so much easier to bring a garden into a school, and it's so much more scalable.
Yeah.
To bring that to every single yeshiva day school across the country, including those in New York City. We have many rooftop gardens at this point.
Right.
And so that's really, in 2015, that's when it started to kind of coalesce. That's probably when we were talking, and I was telling you I want to make this thing called GrowTorah. I started to play with the name. So summer of 2015, I worked at Moshe Be'ir. Fall of 2015.
You know what? It might have been, my memory might be faulty. It might have been the farm yeshiva concept that I was negative to.
It was that I definitely remember. I can't remember the exact timing of when we overlapped there, but then my wife was very kind. She graduated nursing school and said, okay, I'm working now. Do you want to take a beat and see if you can try this GrowTorah thing out? I had another concept at the time that I was testing out a kids clothing company, an organic eco kids clothing company.
Oh, okay. I was going to say not environmental. Okay, it was environmental.
It was organic, kind of like an organic, like a eco version of Life is Good with like Mussery type of messaging that two of my friends and I had been playing with since 2005. It's called Applefont, or Animal Orchard. It's great shtick. But basically that fall was, okay, Yosef, test out these two things, see where it's going to go. And thank God, by January of 2016, I had 4 schools signed on, ready to go. Thanks to Ari Klein for getting me into Moshe Be'er, and all the teachers at those schools. The Tokayers from SAR brought me the family brought me to SAR and said he wants to do this.
So wait, so what were you bringing? You were bringing a club. I mean, what was I get it. You bring a garden to a school. So what were you doing besides bringing a garden? With the garden, what were you bringing?
With the garden, I was taking care of the garden. I was building a garden. I was taking care of it, and I was bringing classes. I was saying, bring me students out here. I will teach them in the garden. We will connect nature and Torah and the environment all together. And Riva and Aaron Tokaya really wanted to do something in memory of Elon, their son, through the Neta Elon Foundation. He was a budding winemaker, and it was really special to do that, to make that connection. This was very much aligned with what they wanted to support with the Neta Elon Foundation, so I was able to bring it to SAR. Gan Elon is the GrowTorah program from at SAR, and that was the first year. In Ben Parat Yosef in New Jersey, the Eagle family wanted to support the program there. So it was that there was families that wanted to support the program. The schools wanted it educationally, and I wanted to do it. So that spring of 2016 was the first year of GrowTorah as a concept. And then once more schools started to hear about it and see it, and thank you for those early articles. The Jewish Link definitely published it early on.
Yeah.
And people started to hear about it. We posted on social media, and that really helped get the word out. And then, since then, any school has heard about it. They reach out, they talk to us, they want to bring it.
So is that the core? I want to hear about the growth. But
yeah.
Is that still? Are the gardens still the core, or are those gardens for example, the gardens you mentioned, are they still extant? Are they still?
Yes. So both of them have had glow ups or upgrades.
Good.
But yes, the programs are still very active. Actually, both. Thank God, we are still actively teaching at both at BPY and SAR. At SAR, they've expanded. They have a separate early childhood garden and an academy for the elementary school garden, and we're teaching weekly. So yeah, our core program is our school garden programs. We have 2 models of it now. One is our staff teaches. So 2016, I was the only person doing it.
Yeah.
Thank God, we now have a team of 8 full-time staff who are doing this.
When was that first hire? Like, hey, GrowTorah is going to be bigger than Yosef.
So I had a couple of part-time folks that joined in 2018.
So you did for a few years. You were by mostly
myself with, thank God, awesome friends helping out and volunteering. October 25th, 2017 was when we officially incorporated as a nonprofit. Early on, the schools were I didn't even have an LLC, didn't have anything. The schools were just paying me as an employee or as a contractor. And so our core program is really teaching in schools through our school garden programs. In the New York area, the greater New York area, which now includes Stamford, Connecticut, thank God, Bicultural just joined this fall.
And also part of the Jewish Link catchment.
And also part of the Jewish Link catchment, exactly. So New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, our staff teaches on a weekly basis in the fall and the spring in our gardens. And then we have a national program which launched in 2019 as a pilot, and then 2021 as a full-fledged program with a grant from the Covenant Foundation, which the Jewish Link published that news as well. So thank you.
Yeah, and that was a 6-figure grant. It was a nice. It was a nice size amount.
The initial grant to launch the program was a $20,000 grant in 2021, and then it went well, and that was basically a national teacher training and coaching model. It was virtual at the time, and then thank God, 2024 we got what's called the signature grant from the Covenant Foundation. They said, okay, the concept works. What do you want to do with it to go bigger? And that was, thank God, $150,000 over 3 years. So that takes us through next year, where we have an annual teacher training seminar at the Adama Farm in Connecticut at Isabel Friedman Retreat Center. Right. So we work with them, and they're really supportive and wonderful. But we run the whole program. We basically rent it out for the week. It's really special. And
that week, you're saying?
That week is really special. And then we have coaching sessions with the teachers one-on-one with our staff to help guide them through the process. We have monthly workshops with those teachers so that everybody is really reconnecting as a cohort and supporting each other. And we're learning from each other. It really is very much a cohort-based model. Actually, new this year, we got accepted into the DEEP Consortium, which is high-quality professional development, is like their gold standard. It's part of a national effort that's not Jewish, but the DEEP Consortium specifically focuses on Jewish educational service providers. So that was really great to get that credential, to know that what we're providing is really meaningful. So that's our national program, and that's brought us, we're now, between our Shorashim and Anafim programs, that's the name of the two programs we call them, we're in 10 states and 30 schools, thank God.
So I mean, you're traveling a ton, much more than you used to in the last.
So the travel is for that annual seminar on the farm in Connecticut, and then each school gets one site visit from us a year. And so we split that between me and my amazing co-executive director, Sarah Just Michael, who you had asked before, who the first hire, was that awesome? Yes. That was Sarah Just Michael, joined in April of 2018, part-time, doing media and communications. She started our monthly newsletter for us, the GrowTorah Times, spelt like the herb, Times. So she started that in 2018, and then in the fall, I said, hey, do you want to teach? She said, yeah, I would love to. She started teaching, and then in 2021, we promoted her to be my co-executive director with the board seat as well. And she's been an incredible partner to help grow the organization, really take it from this concept that I had when we knew each other first to, thank God, now a national organization.
Yeah, okay. That's really cool. So on a weekly basis, how many students are you impacting? I know you said 10 states, so you said a lot of schools. So
our teachers are directly teaching probably 1,000 kids a week. Mm-hmm. Could be 1,800. But yeah, just a breakdown of the numbers. In the New York area in Shorashim, we're at 18 schools, and at each school, we're coming in once a week and teaching, 4 to 6 classes of 20 kids or so. So 100 kids, 100 to 150 kids per school, 18 schools, somewhere between 1,000 and 1,800 a week. And then in Anafim, our national program, so that's 12 schools, and so another 1,000. So between 2,000 to 3,000 students a week. And we try to track exact numbers of unique students that we've taught, and then also how many times have we taught each student. A little bit complicated to track that exactly because we're not taking attendance at every school, but it's upwards of 10,000 unique students that we're teaching each time, and usually they're getting 4 to 6 sessions in the garden per year.
Okay. And is the goal in these gardens, to teach them how to grow tomatoes, grow herbs? How you balancing the Torah side of it? Things like, different set of halachot of agriculture. So I just want to hear you.
Yes.
how you mix all that
yes,
stuff. So.
And yes, and yes, and yes. It's everything.
Okay. And the goal is that they're able to eat their own salad, hopefully by the end of.
It's that they're able to grow something for their salad. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But actually, going back to the Leket question from before, we donate 90% of what we grow to the local food pantries. So in the Jersey schools, we bring it to the corner market, the JCFS pantry, and so the kids are actually getting to experience a practicing of these mitzvos. It doesn't, most peah, leket, shicha, as you're asking about, doesn't apply in Chutz Aretz, but we can teach them about it. We can actually get a taste of it, quite literally, by the kids are harvesting it, and they say, where does this go? Well, let's all make a bracha. Let's taste this. Let's experience it. Who's ever had a fresh radish straight out of the ground? Who's ever tasted parsley on the same plant that the swallowtail caterpillars are pollinating right now? Mm-hmm. So you're getting to see all of it. You're getting to watch Maaseh Bereishis unfold with all the creatures coming in, all the pollinators, and actually the metamorphosis of a caterpillar, into a butterfly, which is beautiful and awesome. And In a classroom, if you have that kind of thing, it's usually considered a distraction. For us, we design our lessons to immediately reorient around the distraction, and it becomes the core of the lesson. So a butterfly shows up, that becomes the micro lesson for 5 minutes, and then we get back to what we were teaching about. But it's really about channeling those dynamic experiences and those organic opportunities to really bring it all together. So the actual curriculum, I brought a little, this is our curriculum. So we have a lesson for every single parsha of the year, and we break it down. It's kind of modular. There's a core value that we want to teach, and then there's several different methodologies, ways you could teach it in the garden with an adaptation for a rain plan that still centers the garden. So like pick these herbs, bring them into the classroom, teach the kids what's going on, something like that. And the goal is that they're walking away with a meaningful value. So this week, for example, we're teaching the weekly parsha. Every week we're teaching the parsha. So let's say it's Parshas Noach. So Parshas Noach, we've got the rainbow. For early childhood, they're already doing tons of stuff with rainbows. So awesome. Let's go on a scavenger hunt for rainbows in the garden. How many colors can you see in this garden? And we're usually finding all of them,
right,
which is really fun.
Because nature comes in all kinds of hues, not just green.
Yeah. Exactly, which is really special. For Bereshis, L'Avda L'Shomra, it's really about the value of caring for this planet, for the garden, and for the planet, for the earth. So they're always walking with a value that's related to the parsha and a functional garden skill as well. So we're packing a lot into a 30-minute lesson, which some might see as a little bit ambitious, and I'm fine with that.
But the goal is that they're not just listening. It's not frontal. The kids are actually grabbing tools. They're actually doing stuff with their hands, obviously.
Exactly. So they're digging. Actually, another Noach lesson we do for older kids. Actually, and for Noach lesson is there's a medrash about if Noach, like that Noach invented the plow, that there was no plow before, and so we'll have the kids like try to create their own plowing devices because you got to dig in the soil. So they're caring for these spaces.
Also, to be honest, most non-farmers have no idea what a plow even does.
Exactly.
What's the point? Why do you need to turn over the earth? What does it need to aerate or things like that?
Exactly. So the way we frame our pedagogy is we want to help the entire Jewish community, but especially our students, fall in love with nature through a Torah lens and fall in love with Torah through a natural lens. We want them both to see both. And from that healthy place of feeling and experiencing and seeing while they're learning, while they're doing, you get to a point of, okay, I now have a new vocabulary for nature and Torah. I now understand my responsibility. Bal tashchis, right? You mentioned food waste. That's a very real mitzvah. And if we can approach it from a place of, I love nature because HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us Ma'aseh Bereshis, Ma Rabu Ma'asecha from Tehillim, right, that we say on Rosh Chodesh, and we say in our davening every single day. That's what we want the students to experience, and all of our learners, is to really feel that, and from there, le'ovda, to feel it, to do it, u'lishomra, to get to a place of actually protecting and taking care of it, in whatever way is appropriate in their family, in their schools, in our shuls. That's what we're trying to do.
Sounds really cool. Sounds really. I was joking with you before about how let's talk about some of your events. I was joking that GrowTorah runs the coolest events. You actually, I think you recently had a dinner. You honored Rabbi Genek.
Yes,
and that the whole family came back to me and said we had that was the best event. They loved that event. And just tell me a little bit about what makes your event special. I know you have some stuff coming up as well. So
yeah, so. We do some things. If we see somebody else doing a cool idea, we try to borrow it, and then we're always pushing ourselves to think differently. We don't do a lot of adult education. Our core thing is really the school garden. So we're always trying to find ways to make experiences for adults just as awesome, so they can experience what we're teaching. And so our annual dinner, it's a fundraising dinner. How can we make that an educational
what do you
experience?
call it again? What's the you title is funny.
We call it Harvest Feast. Yeah. Harvest Feast. Every minute of the dinner is curriculum, so that all the guests are actually learning GrowTorah hands-on, experientially, and not just hearing us speak about it. Our speeches are like very short.
I heard that as well.
Yes, but beautiful. Rabbi Ginnak spoke. It was really special. So I think that's one thing we try to do is we try to take this unique pedagogy that we've been developing and bring it to everything we do. And so we always want to have a wow factor, a marabu ma'asecha, for every participant. So at Harvest Feast, we work with a different chef each year. We had Josh Masson from Nobo cater this year, which was incredible. Some of the coolest things I've ever seen done to tomatoes, and other veggies that were just out of this world, and a vegetarian menu, which is really special to do. So we want everything to be a wow. So people got to go out to the flower fields and pick their own flower bouquets. And then we had it on a little table for them to take home when they get home. But you get to pick your own flower bouquet. You get to make your own herb-infused honey. Real experiences, real hands-on. So that's Harvest Feast. That's our dinner. We also will occasionally do sunrise hikes with a minion, which is just such a special thing. It's actually, when I was in college at some point, I wrote an essay about my dream to like guide a sunrise hike and have a minion on top, and thank God we've now done it a few times, which is really special. We do cleanup events, community cleanup events. We've done it on MLK Day for a couple of years with the Westchester Parks Foundation. We've got one coming up in Lido Beach on Long Island, which is really special.
Are you finding spots that need cleanup, like just really?
So yeah, we always try to work with other organizations. We're always partnering with them. So in Westchester, it's with the Westchester Parks Foundation. They know the parks, and we have the people, and we have the curriculum. And so that's kind of how we divide up our roles. And so yeah, in Teaneck, actually, we're going to be doing a cleanup at the Jordan Wook Riverwalk with like the Friends of the Hackensack River Greenway.
Happens to be on YouTube. I don't know why, but I've been seeing a lot of these videos of like volunteer groups, like coming to like these disgusting looking, industrial canals, sewage and garbage, and they do these these fast framed, of like hordes of volunteers, really clearing and also almost making look gorgeous. I don't know if there's any places that look like that, like the one I'm seeing, but it sounds really cool. So.
It's really special. I mean, thank God never like industrial level pollution, but one year in Westchester we picked 965 pounds of trash up in a morning. Mm-hmm. In 20-degree weather, by the way. We had 300 volunteers come out, which was really special. Yeah, so we work with whoever. We're always looking for new collaborators to work with, but that's also kind of at the core of our model. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We just want to bring our unique pedagogy and our mission and work with however many people we can to do this work and to give people these meaningful experiences so that they can feel like, okay, I now have a new perspective and I can do something and feel a part of this.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned before about this coming up to almost 10 years. So tell me a little bit about hitting your 10-year milestone and also what you guys are planning for 10.
So it's funny. You introduced your skepticism at the beginning.
I retracted it, by the way.
You retracted it for sure. I have the skepticism too. I didn't know if it was going to work. It was an experiment, and it still is an experiment. There's a real need for this work, right? Our schools are amazing at so many things, but very few of them do much outside with nature. And that's not a critique on anyone. That's just a function of the way that it works.
I think it's also society. I think it's just the way we also live. We have an urban immigrant, almost like maybe our great grandparents were closer to the fields, but we in an urban environment don't. I don't know. Just that's my quick thoughts. So.
Exactly. It's not a critique of anyone. It's just a critique of the current status. And we also have a solution for that. So I don't like to whine. I like to offer solutions and solve problems. So yes, let's go outside. And let's go outside with Torah. Let's bring the Torah outside and let's bring Torah to life outside. That's really what we're trying to do. And same thing for the environment. We're not just here to whine and complain about the environment. Let's work together. Let's do something. From very practical solutions like let's go clean up a local park because that trash shouldn't be in the forest.
Right.
To thinking way bigger, and how can we go much bigger than that? But that's the goal, is really to introduce this to people as a new way of thinking and seeing things, a very old new way.
So what you're saying is kind of that GrowTorah is more than just GrowTorah is kind of an idea, a movement, even. I mean, in your dream state, so to speak.
My dream state, I'm very scared of the word movement. I don't want to introduce a new movement. It's just a new lens to add on to what we're doing. It's not michutz l'machana. I want people to see bachutz as no longer michutz l'machana, but just part of what we do.
Which, by the way, in Judaism, it always was part of what we do.
Always.
Agriculture, we come
We're
out of an
people of
agriculture
the
society.
land.
That's correct. Meaning, that's really the way and by the way, in Israel, I think there is maybe you correct me if I'm wrong, maybe there is a stronger sense, because most people were kind of living, I don't know why, I mean, in Jerusalem, you kind of just drive 10 minutes out and you're on a moshav, that's actually growing stuff, so, or that, I feel like in Israel it's a little bit different. You could correct me.
There are some things in Israel educationally that are so far advanced and beyond what we're doing here, and there are so many things that are very far behind what we're doing educationally. And I think from a naturalistic perspective as well. There are certain things where, you look to your left and you see another piece of Tanakh unfolding, historically, where, but where here you look to your left and there's a beautiful tree, but it doesn't have any biblical significance.
Correct.
I think we're kind of about the same in our disconnect, at least the Anglo community. But what's really special to think about is, okay, so it was an experiment, but now, thank God, this experiment is 10 years in. On February 1st, 2026, that'll be our official 10th birthday. The first program that I ran as GrowTorah was February 1st, 2016.
Wow.
Thank God. And by some amazing hashgacha pratis, or just God's sense of humor in a good way, February 1st, 2026 is Erev Tu B'Shvat.
Wow.
this year. So we are going to be doing the whole month of Shvat. We always run Tu B'Shvat programming nationally. Last year we did about 30 plus workshops across the country.
So you're saying it's like GrowTorah month?
It's GrowTorah's busy season. Mm-hmm. For accountants, they have their busy season. Torah's busy season is Shvat.
February, March, basically.
Yeah, January, February, depending on the year. So this year, what's really special is we have a whole month kind of bookended by a lot of special things. So January 19th will, please God, be a cleanup event at Westchester Parks again. That's Rosh Chodesh Shvat. Then all of Shvat will be running Tu B'Shvat programming for our 10th year birthday and anniversary. Erev Tu B'Shvat, February 1st, we're going to be doing Birthday Basadeh, a really special event, outdoors. More details will be coming out soon. And then that night, Tu B'Shvat night, we'll be doing a Tu B'Shvat Seder, as we often do, TBD on location for that, and taking us through with tons of programming throughout the whole month of Shvat.
The Tu B'Shvat Seder, do you broadcast it, or it's an event you invite people to, or how?
This one, we're still working out the details for it, but in the past we've done a bunch of different things. Sometimes a shul or a school will bring us in to run a Tu B'Shvat Seder. Sometimes we'll run our own. Last year we did our own small thing in a greenhouse at a farm at Pony Power Therapies in Mahwah, New Jersey. An amazing local farm partner that we have. We bring our college interns there in the summer also. So last winter, it snowed. We had about 15, 20 people. It was really special. Yoni Stokar played music, another Bergen County wonderful human. So Shvat's going to be big. And leading up to Shvat, the end of year, in December, we're going to be doing our biggest crowdfunding campaign ever, to celebrate our 10th anniversary and to launch us into our next decade, which is a really exciting thought to say, okay, when we met each other 10 years ago, it was this idea, and it was a maybe for both of us. It was a maybe for me, and it was a maybe for anyone I shared it with.
I tell you, I remember you being unusually passionate about it, and only in hindsight that I realized, hey, you're going to make this work. So
Thank you.
that's I'm saying, guys, you definitely had what I call you gave off the right kind of nonprofit entrepreneur vibes. So
Thank you.
by the way, I'm still not done with Farm Yeshiva yet, but keep going. So
I'm not done with Farm Yeshiva either. I just waiting for the right time.
I just realized something. First of all, everything you said that's coming up sounds great, but tell me a little about what you do in the summer. I forgot
sure.
about, because I think you've grown the summer side also tremendously.
We do. We thank God we have a lot. We have a lot going on all year. And we try to balance it out. And so fall and spring, that's Shorashim and Anafim. That's the real core of what we do.
Schools.
That's the school programs. Winter, we do Tu B'Shvat. We do Shvat programming. In the summer, we have a college internship. And actually, ta-da, I brought a little. There we go. It's a college internship, but at GrowTorah we like shtick. So it's the inchwormship.
Inchwormship?
Inchwormship, like inchworms, internship.
Oh, inchworm. Oh, okay.
Inchwormship.
Got it. Cute.
And you just gotta have some fun. Mm-hmm. The inchwormship is, thank God, funded by EJF Philanthropies. It's really special in memory of Rabbi Joseph Friedman, who was an incredible Rav and community leader. And the foundation founded this in his memory. We had some interns before they started funding it, and then they said, what's something that you can do that'll really empower leaders to care about these issues and to really go deep? And that's really how we treat it. So we have a whole curriculum for them. This, what I'm holding in my hand right now, is the workbook for the inchworms. We pay them. They're paid as interns for the summer. They work. It's a 8 to 9 week program, and we invest a ton in them. We have shiurim for them. There's a whole curriculum. The page I'm holding right now is all the garden skills that they're supposed to work on, and it's like it's a spreadsheet of like what days did you do it, what crops did you handle, and what notes do you have for direct seeding, transplanting, weeding, harvesting, etc. We have 4 core educational values that's really at the core of our pedagogy: incubating emunah, environmental stewardship, living tzedakah, and cultivating compassion for all creatures. So we have shiurim on all 4 of those, and then we have follow-up for all those. We take them to local farms. So the inchwormship is huge. That's a big part of our summer. They also help us take care of our gardens in the summer. Not every school has a camp on the campus in the summer, so most of our schools, we're going in once a week or once every other week
to maintain
with our inchworms to maintain. We also, that's when we bring on new schools. So we build new school gardens. That takes a lot of human power. And then the last 2 weeks of August, we run Camp GrowTorah, which is farm camp. It's really special. We sell out most years. We had 120 campers this past summer.
This is for middle school, right?
No, younger, ages 5 to 10.
Okay.
K through 5, roughly. But it's also our opportunity to bring high schoolers back in. So we have about 15 or 20 high schoolers as staff, and we invest a lot in them also. It's really about giving, like I mentioned with Harvest Feast and adults, we want to make every experience educational and meaningful and awesome and really mission driven. And so the high schoolers that work for us on staff and college students who work for us on staff, we're investing in them. We give them breaks every day, but we're also have a meeting every single day. Beginning of the day, what's the game plan for the day? And end of day, feedback. What did you learn today? How can we do better? Even though it's a 1 week day camp, we care a lot to make it really impactful. And thank God the numbers show it.
How many kids are you able to take now?
So 120. So we can take 60 kids a week, but you can't overlap. So 60 kids 1 week, 60 kids week 2, 120 kids. Thank God.
And would you ever think about doing it beyond the last 2 weeks in August?
It's a really interesting question. I'm curious if any listeners have what they think about.
I'll just say, so I was involved a little bit in the founding of Camp Kaylee many years ago, and they basically, their thought was to set up a camp that was different than any other camp. You're already operating a camp that's different than any other camp, and the question is, could it go to 4 weeks or 6 weeks? That's really the question I'm asking you.
So the farm that we work with is called Cropsey Community Farm. They're an amazing nonprofit farm in New City, New York, right next to Muncie. They run their own camp the rest of the summer.
Got it.
There are other times where we might be able to do more, but also we've been there. Actually, at this point, we have been running Camp GrowTorah there for 8 summers, which is longer than any of their staff have been there. They have an amazing team. We just happen to be there longer. But what's really special is the kids come out of that with huge, just the impact is really special. Last year, we thank God got a grant to invest more in our feedback and evaluation systems to really learn from our participants, what are they gaining from our experiences. So I'm holding this right here. We ask 3 questions about, number 1 is how are they seeing the Torah through nature? Number 2 is how are they seeing the environment as a Torah value? And number 3 about commitment to midos, so just in personal growth, because it's really about each of us as individuals before it's about anything we can do as a people. So 86% of the respondents feel a stronger connection to Torah through nature. 94% learned that taking care of the environment is an important part of living a Torah life. And 81% want to commit to personal growth in their character. We asked these questions. We did this whole feedback system, rigorous, like testing and evaluating and making it better, from our students, from our campers, from our counselors, over 850 survey responses. So this is real data. Mm-hmm. And it tells us where we're stronger, and then there's the open responses is the funniest things. One kid says, I want to grow a big fat pumpkin. Another kid says, I never knew you could see Torah through nature. Right. So you get the
which is that you want that kind of response.
Exactly. GrowTorah helps me learn and grow. I love nature and I want to continue learning. I want to be a better me. Another kid said, I love planting seeds and watching them grow. And then a really special one, I learned if you have good food, give it to the needy. So it was really special to get to do that process.
Okay.
Evaluation.
So first of all, Mazel Tov on 10.
Thank you.
Any thoughts about actually like acquiring a farm or a real base somewhere? You know, or that's just you're happy with the current setup right now?
That would be a massive capital expenditure that we're not at all equipped to tackle right now, and operationally also. Running a farm is not easy. We love all the farmers that we work with, and there's actually a national network called the Jewish Farmer Network that we're kind of adjacent to. The executive director is a great friend, and just hearing from them, talking to them, seeing them, and working with all these farms. I love farms. We all love farms.
But you don't love farmers. I'm just kidding.
We love farmers. We love farms, and we're very happy working with them and not running one. I think
the business it's a challenge. There's no question. Yeah.
The business of running a farm. I mean, there's a reason that a lot of the chicken farmers in New Jersey became real estate developers. With incredible respect to both all those real estate developers and appreciation, and to all those chicken farmers. But yeah, values-wise, it would be awesome to bring them out. Right now, thank God, we have great relationships with these farmers. We're able to bring, when a school wants to do a field trip, we can bring them out. We've done it a few times, and it's really just about our staff time if we can be there to teach on the farm with them. The unique model we have is our core competencies is our staff and our pedagogy and our curriculum. It's kind of, intangible in some way, but it's also it's not bound to a physical place.
So in a sense, you are really you are a provider in a sense.
Exactly, service provider.
Yeah, and I don't love the word service. It sounds a little technical, but but at the end of the day, it's like you're not dreaming about operating, to GrowTorah farms, and you're just staying away from the word movement, which I like it. I get, that you're really honestly you're concerned about impact, and the way to maximize impact
exactly
is to focus on more schools, more programs, more locations, and Ken Yerbu, so to speak.
I mean, yeah, our etro composting that's going on right now in the fall, that's a great example of just an idea that we're testing out. We're seeing last year we had 350 people who registered, but we had 1,500 esrogim that we composted.
Did you get on the freezing your esrog trend? Do you even know what I'm talking about?
No, what's the freezing?
Okay, so Simcha Leiner actually, I think, and others freeze their esrog and use the same esrog year to year. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I actually didn't know it was even possible, but apparently Simcha Leiner and others post that they use the same. You can freeze your esrog, basically take it out of the freezer, use it for 8 days of Sukkot, and put it back in, which I think is a little interesting, but it's definitely not using resources properly.
Exactly. It's not crazy. I mean, our esrogim are harvested and stored for many months before we see them.
Yeah.
So it's not crazy.
Interesting. I just wanted to throw that in there at the end.
Great.
That not as a GrowTorah.
No.
Yosef, just really,
you.
anything you want to tell us for Mazel Tov on the upcoming, I guess I would say Tu B'Shvat anniversary, Erev Tu B'Shvat anniversary. Look forward to seeing you a lot more in the Jewish Link.
Thank you. Amen.
And just to seeing you continue to grow. Any last words?
Amen. Reach out. Would love to get more people involved. We're always looking for more volunteers. We're always looking for ways that we can grow. If you have an idea, if you're like, oh, you should be doing this, I invite you to should me.
Love it, love it. But you guys aren't selling any products. You're not manufacturing. There's no, I know Adama used to have pickles or something.
I love Adama pickles. They're so good.
But I'm saying that's so you haven't thought about that kind of stuff yet.
We've thought about it, but the scale is not in our favor.
I don't think it was in their favor either, to be honest.
I mean, their pickles are really good. Big fan. Love all their pickles. We have a little merch store on our website. We sell some swag, but I gave you a little reusable tea bag with some dried mint from our gardens.
Looking forward to
tasting. So we have that.
it.
We mainly use it as gifts. But it is available for sale if people want it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Yosef, very much.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you in the Jewish Link, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us on the Jewish Link Pitch Meeting podcast. If you would like to participate or be in touch with us in any way, please email us at editor@jewishlink.news and follow us and find our podcast wherever you find podcasts.